Go Ellsworth, brought to you by these proud community sponsors. Anita Hoffines, Dr. Mark Herzog,
Welcome to the Ellsworth Update. I'm Carol Kratzer with the Ellsworth-Kanopolis Area Chamber of Commerce. And today we're here with Jamie Rathbun from the Midway County Extension Agency. And the reason I had problems with that is they've just combined with Russell.
We have.
And created a whole new district. And so that's very exciting. There's been a lot of change and excitement in your office this year.
There sure has been. Total
Turnover except for you. And really gives us a lot more variety with the two offices being combined, even though you still have offices in both counties.
Yes.
But it gives us a lot more variety. And today she's going to tell us all we'd love to know or don't know about the County Extension Office. And I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm a city girl, born and raised in California, Bay Area. Grandpa had a farm. That's as close to farming as I got. He had a 1/4 acre behind his house. That was my farm. So don't know a lot about gardens, don't know a lot about animals, don't know a lot about much of anything to do with farming or gardening. So as I've come here, she's become my go-to gal when I had questions about stuff. And we welcome you today.
Well, thank you.
Now, one of the first things we're going to talk about this morning is a big event that's coming up. Happens every July.
The Ellsworth County Fair.
Yes. Ellsworth County 4-H Fair, and it's July 15th through the 18th. And
okay, our Ellsworth County Fair offers divisions for our 4-Hers, and then also open class divisions as well. Our 4-H events kick off actually on July 13th with our public style review, where the youth come in and model outfits that they have purchased or constructed themselves. And then Monday evening is our horse show. And then on Tuesday the 15th is when we really roll into all of the other events. That's when open class exhibits are dropped off. A lot of our 4-H exhibits come in on that same day. Wednesday is a huge day of the judges coming in and evaluating those projects, both 4-H and open class. On Thursday the 17th, we have our swine show in the morning and our beef show in the evening. And then Friday evening is a 4-H round robin event, which is the champion showman from all of our different animal species: beef, swine, sheep, goats, dairy, and horse. And all of those youth compete to see who is the champion showman, who can show all of those different species the best. And then after that is our premium auction, where the 4-Hers sell their projects. That evening, I would also say that that Friday evening, July 18th, is a huge evening for the public to come out. We also have some other sponsorship that happens that evening. Smoky Hill Cattlewomen come out and sell hamburgers starting at 5 o'clock that evening. Farm Bureau comes out and provides watermelon and cookies to anyone, and Farm Credit is there as well with ice cream. So it's a great evening to come out and have a wonderful meal and then take in the last night of the fair.
And the true meaning of what it means to be small town.
Yes, exactly.
That's one of the great things that I love to do for this town is broadcast all the meals you don't have to cook at.
There are a lot of them, that's for sure. Talking about that, I talked about a lot about 4-H and not too much of open class, and Carol is one of our wonderful volunteers with Open Class Fair too, so I would love to talk about that just a little bit. Our Open Class Fair has something for everyone. Ages 5 and up are able to exhibit there. You can bring projects, foods projects like breads, pies, cookies that you have made, woodworking like carving, furniture, children's toys are there. We have agriculture producers that come in and bring crops in to showcase at the fair. photography, and photography is one of the areas that Open Class has expanded a little bit this year. Color, black and white, landscape, portraits, all of your traditional areas, but they're embracing technology a little bit more. And we added classes for cell phone pictures and the selfies that all of the kids like to take. So they can download those photos and bring them out to the fair. Each of the classes in the Open Class division, and there are more than what I have mentioned, but each of those classes do have prizes that are donated from various sponsors around town. So we would love to have more people come out and showcase the wonderful work that they're doing with foods or with quilting or garden produce that they're growing at our Open Class Fair.
Well, I mean, there's just a plethora of things you could do if you crochet, knit, sew, paint. You know, the kids can build things with their Legos or their Lincoln Logs or their plastic little whatevers. Of course, we've always have the cookies and the cakes and the breads and the pies, and that's the fun part. But even if you have beautiful flowers, there's flowers and arrangements, and I mean, it's dried
arrangements, potted arrangements, single stem flowers can be brought in. So if you're interested in any of that, we have fair books available here at the chamber office, but then down in the extension office at the basement of the Ellsworth Courthouse. It has all of the 4-H classes in the front, and then towards the back there is a place to find out anything you want to know about the Open Class Fair. So we very much encourage people in the county, and we even have people from outside the county come in and show their work. So come down and pick up a fair book and see what you might want to bring.
The only way we're going to keep this going is if we all step up and show at least one thing.
That's right. That's right.
So I guess I've challenged myself to show something. Don't know what, but. Okay, so that's the big thing. That's coming up July. And again, Open Class is from the 15th to the 18th. 4-H is from the 13th through the 18th. And it's fun to take your kids to the events when they're showing the animals. It's fun to just go and sit on a warm summer evening and watch those kids do things that they love. It just brightens your heart to see all those things. And then, of course, to go through and maybe be a little jealous at how talented some of our people in town are.
It's amazing, the talent that we have in the county.
It truly is. Okay, so next it is summer, and we got rain.
We did get rain.
So our gardens may grow, and it is gardening time.
It is gardening time.
And I have tried a couple, not been very successful, so I've gone from vegetables to plants. I planted a butterfly garden this year.
There you go.
In my front yard, and tending them very lovingly. Of course, the grass now is trying to take over, but I'll take care of it. So you have some information that you can share with us, and if I have a question, you can help me with those things too.
I sure can, and we have other people in our extension district that can help as well. I am the Family and Consumer Science Agent, which is in the past has been referred to as the home economist. So I deal with a lot of things in the home. We have another agent on staff, Michelle Buchanan, who is housed here in our Ellsworth office. She is anything crops and horticulture related. We have a livestock agent on staff, Dusty Lynn Betts. She is in our Russell office, and so she can help livestock producers with their questions. And we have just hired a 4-H youth development agent to help coordinate a lot of our youth programs, Nicolette Unruh. So I'll start kind of with these garden things that you brought up. Extension offices across the state, but here in Midway District, Ellsworth and Russell counties can answer your questions about gardens. What is good to plant? And we're kind of not completely past that planting season because people plant fall gardens as well. But we do have garden guides available that kind of talk about the best things to grow in different areas across the state of Kansas, what time of year to plant them, how to take care of them, what are some common pests that might be attracted to those plants that you would put in your garden. These garden guides we do sell in our office. But we have a lot of other information related to gardening, and as I mentioned, bugs. If you have bugs in your garden or something, if your tomatoes are coming with brown spots on them, if you bring those into our office, I'm not your go-to person, but Michelle can definitely answer those questions for you and let you know what the problem is and how to take care of it. So beyond that, I like to tell people that Michelle's your go-to person for planting the garden, harvesting it, but then after you harvest it, I'm your gal, because I can tell you how to cook it, how to can it, how to freeze it, what to do with all of those fruits that you're harvesting from your garden or from your trees. So this is also the time of year that as people do start harvesting the produce from their gardens, they think about cooking it, but then also canning it. We have a variety of different publications in our office on how to preserve cucumbers, tomatoes, peaches, cherries, all kinds of vegetables, you name it, we have those available in our office as well. So if you're interested in any of that, you can come pick it up. Another thing I do encourage people to do if they are planning on preserving any of those foods through canning, and especially your low acid foods that require you to pressure can, the Extension office does have equipment available to test the gauge on your pressure canner to make sure the dial on it is accurate. If you do not process at the proper pressure level and then for the proper amount of time, your food will not preserve correctly, leading to the possibility of food poisoning, or then having to throw out all of those foods that you've worked so hard to grow and then save so that you can enjoy in the winter time. So we do have that capability. It takes about 10 minutes to test a gauge, so not a lot of time at all. Just stop into the Extension office and we'll set it up and test it and let you know whether your gauge is still accurate or not. So.
Perfect.
Yes.
Now, explain to me what a low acid food is.
Oh, low acid foods would be things like green beans. Tomatoes are typically a higher acid food. They can be water bath canned, which means you don't have to.
But if I pickle my
pressure
green beans,
can them.
they can be water bath, or they have to be pressured?
I don't know. I am not.
My goal this year is to pickle beets.
Okay, and I am not. I've been to a couple canning workshops just so I know enough about it to answer questions. I don't do this on a routine basis myself. We put in a garden, but not a big enough one to have that much overflow.
My grandma used to can, and when she died, we went in and found things. This was in the 2000s, and we found things that were dated 1960s. So,
I believe it.
She had. It was the best thing, because she would can tuna, because Grandpa would fish, and so we would go have tuna and homemade jelly, and it was the best place to be. So.
I can't answer your questions on the spot, but if you have canning questions, you can call me, and I have plenty of resources in my office to answer all those questions.
I apologize.
That's okay.
And then what most people know you for, or know the Extension office for, is the help you give farmers. Yes. With livestock and crops, and you have some information on that.
I do. Every year, Ellsworth County, Russell County, and counties across the state put out test plots. They get a variety of different seeds for wheat, for milo, for corn. Corn's not typically grown in our area, it's just too dry here, but we do have, then when they harvest those plots, they test them to find out which varieties work out best in different parts across the state. So after the test plots have been cut and analyzed, we have guides that come out from K-State on the different varieties. I brought with me grain sorghum, soybeans, and corn books. Our wheat books aren't available yet, where we haven't harvested our 2014 wheat yet this year, but we do have these guides available for producers to use and find out what the best varieties are for our local areas. So that's another service and education that we offer to the public to help them do the best at at what they're farming.
Now,
So-
one thing that I'm involved with through the extension is FCE. You want to explain a little bit about what FCE is?
I sure can. FCE are the family and community education units that Extension helps support throughout the state. FCE was started years and years ago as a joint venture with Farm Bureau. And what they were homemakers units. It was a way for the university to take the knowledge that they have out into the public and teach the homemakers about canning and new techniques that were coming out with sewing and other things like that. And that is still the goal of Extension today, although technology has definitely played a part in it, and we offer far more than cooking and sewing and farming. We do help people with their gardens, people who have questions about their trees and things like that. But the FCE units in Ellsworth County are still very active. They help a lot at the Open Class Fair. They meet monthly and have educational programs at every single meeting. The ladies definitely have a lot of fun. I think a lot of the units do a potluck with their monthly meetings as well.
Our luncheon is this month. It's next Tuesday, and we're doing the healthy living one. Last year we did cooking with flowers or spices, and flowers was the year before, but we always have a luncheon when we do that one, and each of us has our menu our menu item that we get the recipe for, and it's a lot of fun.
But
a lot of fun.
It's one more way that K-State Research and Extension takes their research-based information to spread it to the public about, you know, what's new and upcoming. And you mentioned cooking with flowers and things like that. One of the lessons here a couple years ago was on edible flowers, that, you know, not just the produce in your garden, but sometimes your flowers are edible and they can definitely add some color and flavor and variety to salads and things like that. So it's always interesting.
It's fun. It keeps you learning. And we were worried about our group because I'm one of the youngest members. And but we've picked up a few members this year, and so it's great. But these are, you know, women that have a lot of knowledge that can share with you along with learning the new stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to use that resource, and we have a great resource in this county of women who have been doing it for a long, long time that sometimes we forget that they know a lot of stuff. So it's great. All right. Anything else you'd like to touch on? We'll have your information on the bottom so that everybody has your contact information.
That'd be great.
And we will be creating a page for the County Extension Office on the Chamber website under Community, and some of these resources will be listed. Give me a couple of weeks, but yeah, well, that's goellsworth.com and then Community, and they'll be there. And so.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. Upcoming events. It is summer, and we have some great festivals coming up. Our first one is June 28th, and of course it's the Star Spangled Spectacular Fireworks Extravaganza. And this year, it is combined with a number of events. It starts your day with the Scout Sprint Freedom Run at 6:30, and that's put on by PAC 84 Boy Scouts. Then we have the ECF Spiritual Life Center's Run for the Soul motorcycle run, and that begins at 7 a.m. with registration. They'll have breakfast and everything, and the bikes will be leaving about 1 and coming back about 4. There will be a craft fair from 11 to 8, and then the Old Iron Custom Car Show and Cycle Show will be Friday and Saturday, June 27th and 28th, and their registration starts at 7 a.m. on Saturday with the burnout at 2. And all of this happens at the Ellsworth Armory or the new Ellsworth Recreation Facility. Bouncy houses will be going from 3 till dark, and fireworks will be at about 9:45. So come on down, have a great time, and see one of the first fireworks displays of the season. In July, we have Fort Harger Days, which is in Kanopolis, and it's July 11th and 12th. Starts about 5 o'clock on that Friday and goes all day Saturday to a dance. The parade is 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. Then we have, of course, the County 4-H and Open Class Fair that we just talked about, and that's July 15th through the 18th. and that's at the Ellsworth Recreational Facility, where the old armory was. And then in August, we have 2 events. We have Cowtown Days, which is August 16th, full day, and their theme is strong, and their parade will honor our veterans. So if you're a veteran, come on down and be part of the parade. And then we have the El-Can Rodeo, which starts Friday night, August 15th, and goes to the final 16th, with a dance following to sum the whole thing up. So come on down, visit Ellsworth. We have some great events. We have wonderful downtown, great uptown, lots of things for everyone. Come on, visit you. This is Carol Kratzer with the Ellsworth-Kanopolis Area Chamber of Commerce. And if you need any of this information, you can go to goellsworth.com.
Go Ellsworth, brought to you by these proud community sponsors. Anita Hoffines, Dr. Mark Herzog,